Hi, welcome to KXAN Plus. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Esmeralda Zamora. We have our Space episode, and Eric is here with me, Mr. Eric Henrikson, the space expert
In
of
the space
KXAN
space.
Plus.
We're here in the space.
We are here in our rocket ship.
Yeah.
We're
Do
going
you
to
ever
talk
highlight
about.
the rocket ship with any of your other cohorts?
No, it's specifically for KXAN Plus.
So you don't
Only.
like investigates. They don't get to say, "Hey, we're in a rocket ship."
Just the space.
Excellent. I like being, special.
We are very special, and today's topic is probably the most special topic that we talk about because it is my favorite topic, and that is aliens are real.
No, they're not.
They're real.
Okay, so I messaged you earlier and just said, "Hey, today we're going to talk about aliens," and you had so much glee in our messages.
Yeah.
I'm like, I knew you would like this.
This is the best topic by far in the past 2 years that we've been doing
That's
this.
true.
And it's gonna take the crown.
You know what's funny is that the video that AP provided for this story.
Let's pull it
Here,
up so
pull
we
this
can
up.
talk about
This
it.
had like sounds. These are old like sci-fi films, and it was like the aliens are invading. I had to delete all that, everybody.
The aliens
'Cause
are
I don't know what
invading.
our rules are, but they legitimately put this in there, and we had to write your subheading: "Aliens are real?" Question mark. Okay, so I'm gonna giggle a lot this episode. Let me provide some context. While we're
First of
talking
all,
about
aliens
this.
are real.
Former President Barack Obama was on a podcast. I believe it was a podcast,
Mhm.
and just discussing, being in the White House and aliens. And he said they asked him if aliens are real, and he definitively said, "Yeah, they're real,
But they're not at Area 51.
but we've never had any contact or anything with them." So he was talking in the abstract sense. It's the way I talk about them with you about how aliens are real. We just haven't seen them yet. It's more of the probability. I have an interview here we'll highlight in just a second where we talk about that. But first, so he joked about them, being real. And when he was asked what was the first thing he asked when he became president, he said, "Where are the aliens?"
Yeah.
And the
I mean-
answer was, "We don't have them yet."
Who else would not ask that
I
when you
would
become
definitely
president?
ask that. And then, is there really like a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence? These kind of requirements that as Americans we have to ask when we become president.
Mhm.
So there's just been a lot of talk about this. He had to come up with a clarifying response later that they're not real. He meant more in the big sense that,
How are you going to take a statement like that back? It's true. You said it.
well, he was saying, like, I am saying aliens are real. I'm just saying that we don't have them.
Mm.
They're not here. That's why this science fiction video we have here. Also, this is video of Area 51,
Mhm.
which is in fact a really very real place. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around this. Astrobiologist Lewis Dartnell,
Is that a real alien that we're looking at?
that is not a real alien. This video is going to be very silly, guys. I'm going to let you know there's a lot of video from Roswell and the tourist traps around Roswell. Astrobiologist Lewis Dartnell commented on the conspiracy theories and why they happen. I'm going to highlight this before we get into the real aliens, just so we can kind of clear the surface a little bit. Here's that soundbite from him.
Conspiracy theories for a long time now have believed has got some kind of downed alien spacecraft they're keeping hidden and secret from the rest of the world, or maybe some aliens held captive or alien bodies from a downed spacecraft. And Area 51 exists. It's a real place. It's a United States Air Force base. So understandably, there is a great degree of secrecy.
It exists and it's
exists,
real.
but it's not.
It is real. Area 51 is real.
It's real, but like that's why there's like, because the conspiracy theories have partnered reality with imagination, and that's always dangerous, unless you're a scientist. But in this case, that can be very dangerous. Area 51 is real, and also I'm going to point out something to everyone out there. If aliens were being kept by the United States government
In that area.
they would not put them in Area 51 because that's where everybody thinks they're at. They'd be in Area 50 or Goodfellow Air Force
60.
Base out in Angelo. Some like place that no one would expect them to be. If they're real, they're not at Area 51. Not if they're real, but if we do have a body or a spaceship or something. They're not keeping it in the place that everybody says we got it already.
Especially with all the people that go there, like
Right.
tourists.
You remember a few years ago when everyone did the Naruto run towards
Yes.
it? If you don't know what the Naruto run is, give me the big
Or
camera.
the weapons.
Give me the big camera. The weapons also, but it's like you run like this. Like from the anime Naruto, which I just finished for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finish this show, and it's great for going to sleep too. Anyway, yeah. So if they are real, or if not, if they are real, if we do have them,
They are real.
if we have them on the Earth, if they're being stored with spaceships and there's bodies and stuff, Area 51 is the reason that conspiracy theory keeps going. But I would say, if I was in charge of the Air Force, if I was in charge of the Department of Defense, Department of War,
or the Space Force,
or Space Force, whatever. I wouldn't put them in Area 51. I'd put them in someplace else.
I'd put them in the White House.
No, I wouldn't put them in.
It's so secure.
I'd put them in like Montana, Alaska, some super remote place in the middle of nowhere where no one would ever go Naruto riding.
Why would you do that to the little aliens? They don't want to be in the middle of nowhere.
Well, if you're trying to if you're trying to hold a big conspiracy, you don't put them in you put them in Antarctica. You don't put them where people are at. Anyway, or where they think they're at. So anyway, aliens.
So are you saying that there was at one point never an alien in Area 51?
I don't think there was, no.
What? What if they like recover crash sites or
I think those are weather balloons.
spaceships?
I think stories have a way of getting out of control, and I think it was like a weather balloon, or may have been an experimental ship. I don't know. If anything really did happen, that's what I think happened. I don't think it was a spaceship.
Well, I think it was aliens.
I know you do. We've had this conversation way too many times. So let's talk about real aliens, okay? So President Obama was like, hey, these aliens do exist. They're out there, but it's like out in the vastness of the universe somewhere. And so Lewis Dartnell talked about that. Where are the aliens? What would they look like? What would we see? And so I compressed all that into like a big, long soundbite for us with all of his different thoughts and the aliens, where they be and where we can find them and why we don't see them day to day and that kind of stuff.
And what types of them there are.
Check it out.
Let's listen.
Oh.
So not complex, multicellular, intelligent spacecraft building, radio telescope building aliens, but single-celled, simple microorganisms. And seeing if these forms of life might be present on the surface of Mars, or maybe Europa and Enceladus, which are some of the icy moons in the outer solar system. We're looking for evidence there might have been liquid water and simple organic molecules, the kind of chemistry, the building blocks of cells and life, and whether there's a potential energy source that could support a biosphere, support life. But we see no evidence of that form of intelligent life in our galaxy, and we've been listening with our radio telescope ears for decades now and haven't picked up anything that is obviously, unambiguously alien and artificial. But that's not to say that tomorrow morning we don't receive some kind of interstellar Twitter message or Instagram post with some intelligent aliens reaching out to us and saying, hi Earth, let's chat. Stars in our galaxy that are potentially habitable are tens, if not hundreds, or maybe thousands of light years away. So if we were to receive a message and we send a reply and then wait for the answer, we'd be potentially waiting centuries. It'd be a very slow conversation.
Well, I just want to put this out there. If aliens are listening and they're waiting to send that message, send it to me. I won't make a big deal, but send it to me, please.
Report it at KXAN.com.
Send it to my Instagram right there. Send it to that app.
Oh my goodness. No, send it as a report. Just don't forget, you got to sign the megaphone and the photo release.
Oh yeah, we need that photo release.
Make sure you get your photo release so we can air the alien photos and videos on KXAN and KXAN.com. I wanted to say, I got to drive through Roswell a few years ago. And my parents, I was with my parents. This is probably like 19, 20 years, like one of our last family road trip things. And we drove through there, maybe on the way to like Grand Canyon, or maybe we were going like
skiing.
Well, we never went skiing, but we went to places where there was skiing. And we weren't going to pay for skiing.
Sledding?
I think we sledded, honestly. I think we just went there and walked around. But we were going through. My parents refused to pull over. They did stop at the McDonald's.
What?
But they would not let their nerdy son go spend 6 hours.
I'm hurt for you.
On the way back from the Grand Canyon, we did stop at, there's that giant crater in Arizona or New Mexico. I'm blanking on the name of the crater now. And we were so mad that we stopped at that crater because it was also like a 2-week trip. but they wouldn't let me do Roswell. We stopped in a trader, and we missed the petrified forest because it was
What?
closed by the time we got there. That trip was like a very memorable trip for me.
Yeah, because you didn't get to stop and see your aliens.
Didn't get to stop and see the aliens. We did see the Grand Canyon and Monument Valley, which I really liked. Anyway, aliens, they're out there.
They're real. Obama said
Reported at KXAN.com.
Please message me if you're an alien and you want to tell me that you're real. Just message me.
I wanted to talk about my favorite topic. Well, yours is aliens, mine's robots.
Oh, that's true.
I do love robot stories. Although robots, I put them in the space because we are going to use a lot of robots in space. There's my justification. It's my show. I can do what I want.
Hey, I want to talk about aliens, so we can talk about robots.
I don't have to talk about aliens. I do that for you. This is a partnership here. You don't get to talk about that on the traffic show.
No, I don't. Unfortunately, aliens are not the ones causing accidents in traffic.
Yeah. Well,
it's us.
But robots sometimes do.
Oh, sometimes. Pretty often.
I almost hit one of those little scooter ones the other day.
I almost hit those. Yeah, those like Chick-fil-A ones that take you your Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, mine wasn't Chick-fil-A. It was I think it was a pizza place that they were using it.
They don't really know how to cross the road.
Yeah, it was crossing at one of the sorry everybody, this is a big divergent episode. It was crossing in front of me, and then it had to cross the other intersection, and it just didn't know. Quite. But they're getting better. And there was an interesting topic. This is kind of a Valentine's Day, post-Valentine's Day topic, but love and robots. And using robots as companions. A lot of roboticists are working on using robots to help people and to kind of be partners.
Pretty soon.
Not necessarily like romantically, but like just in things. And
it depends on the person, right?
Yeah, but in this case, they're not working on romance. They're working on just like partnerships and developing emotional bonds between people and robots. And how do we best do that? These are researchers from Arizona State University, Maura Scott and Martin Mende. They're a married couple, and they're working on robots together. They're actually they work in marketing, but they're trying to do some research into robotics. And they kind of taking a closer look at like, how do we develop relationships with robots, and what do those relationships mean with us? And then on top of that, like, how can these relationships better our lives? They talk specifically in this interview about robots and healthcare, and I'm working on a story in the next couple weeks about that.
Interesting.
And that's a tease.
Robots have been in healthcare for quite a while.
Yeah, but this is using them for like assistance in nursing.
Oh, wow.
And the thing I'm looking at is using them for like dementia patient care.
Aww.
So that's a really early tease. I haven't even told my bosses about it yet, but it's really cool.
Well, y'all heard it here first.
It's already on her schedule, so it's too late now. But it's a cool story, and I'm really interested in talking about how will robots change the way we care for people going through these hard times. Well, this interview is specifically about talking about these relationships and how we build these relationships. So here, take a look. I thought it was an interesting topic, interesting discussion, and yes, there are a lot of robots in the video. So take a look.
We try to see how and where robots can help build a better society, better service for customers, and not so much threaten human identity and human well-being as support and bolster it.
AI and technology has the power to level the playing field for people, meaning, what we would like to do with technology is find ways to make fundamental services, healthcare, financial services, insurance, accessible to everyone. And I think that when we are smart about how we use technology, we can find a way to deliver world-class service to more people. Working with robots kind of forces us to better understand ourselves and what our needs are, and our own comfort levels and our own worries. And so from that standpoint, working with robots is, I think, very enlightening into the human psyche as well. Typically, when we're working on our research, we bring that right into our classes. As scholars, we get to just keep pushing knowledge forward. And so when you think about having a chance to do that as your profession and to do it with your very best friend, your life partner, it's like, I don't know, it's a dream. One of the projects that Martin and I worked on looked at human-robot teams in a service setting. So when you think about the healthcare context, which is something that every person cares about and is going to have to interact with at some point in their life. Um, in healthcare workers are, have very heavy demands on their job. Um, they're, you know, they have some skills that are only things that they can do, the empathy, for example, to the patient. And so, wouldn't it be great if a robot could assist that nurse when the nurse goes in, and maybe when there is a patient that is heavy, the robot could help that nurse with lifting, and the nurse can focus on more of the human elements. And so, this is part of what we were studying. What could that experience be like for the patient? So, can by having these human robot teams, can that be a win-win-win? Can that be a better experience for the healthcare worker so that they're not experiencing back injuries from lifting, so that they can focus on and lean into their strengths professionally? But then at the same time, the patient is getting more focus from that human service provider in the areas that they're good at. Um, we can potentially serve more patients. And so it really can be a win all around for the healthcare system from a resource management standpoint, for the healthcare employees, and potentially for the patients. And so in our research, what we were interested in is how the consumers or the patients perceive that dynamic between the healthcare worker and the robot, to optimize the experience for the patient.
What was very, very intriguing in that research is what we had done in our experiments is we manipulated who is leading the team. So is it the human doctor and a robot assistant, or is it a robot doctor and a human assistant? And consistently what we found is that patients did not like the robot being the team leader, right? They want the robot, the machine, to be supportive, but not in charge. So I think that is a very interesting phenomenon. I can relate to it myself as a person. I think down the road, we're going to go into a world where we will see robots being in charge. They have authority, they can make decisions. But right now, I think in this transition phase, I certainly personally can relate to this notion that companies should not put robots in charge. They should be assistants to humans. Empathy, to this day, I think is the biggest challenge for machines. Why? Because empathy and genuine kindness, I think, comes from lived experiences, right? I, as a human, can relate when someone feels bad when they're bullied, because as a kid, when I was bullied, I know how that feels. A machine cannot feel that. It can simulate it. But I think this genuine care for our fellow human is, I think, what I would hope that we always remember and always emphasize.
People are very curious. Humans are very curious. And so I think that's something else that firms can lean into, is that, especially when you make the humanoids cute and approachable, that this curiosity might be a way to start to move toward having a stronger connection between humans and robots.
Persistence is a very important aspect of our job.
Yeah.
Because nothing happens very fast in academia. It takes years to design studies, write papers, get them through the review process. So you have to be very persistent. And the beauty is, like, that's another thing, is like we all have cycles, right? But we, for some wonderful reason, we tend to be very asynchronous. It's like when one of us is like, the other one is like, hey, it's
Yeah.
going to be great. It's
Yeah.
going to be fantastic.
True.
I believe our research matters because marketing is everywhere. Marketing touches every person. And as a service marketing researcher, I want to help that consumers get better service experiences, be that in financial services, in healthcare, in hospitality. And I believe in the positive impact that scholarly research can have, not only in the academic community, but in organizations and companies that people use every day.
First of all, what a power couple right
I
there.
know. They're so supportive of each other. I
Mhm.
mean, admittedly, they're marketers, so
Yeah.
they could be fighting all the time. Who knows?
I like when they were talking about making these robots have empathy, because
Yeah.
that's just like the main part of being a human is having
Right.
feelings
And
and
that's one of those things I think
emotions.
robots are going to have a hard time with
Hmm.
because robots, while they can learn, they don't learn like we do.
They don't have
And
past experiences.
right, and we learn through so many different like they kind of it's like so limited like with what they really can receive, as long as we give them.
Yeah.
We're humans, we
The way we treat them
touch and
is
smell and
how
all
they.
of our senses, and then emotional senses, and all. There's so much stuff we're constantly receiving that
Mhm.
makes us better than robots. Would
But-
you ever have a robot boss?
I would not. Just like he was saying, I do not want the robots to have authority over me, but I would be the boss of my own robot in my house that cleans and cooks, and once they get better at doing that.
I'm not good at having people have authority over me. Love people, let alone robots. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to what a robot's gonna tell me. I'm gonna ignore it and walk away,
Yeah, I'm stubborn too.
or push it over, let it fall.
Yeah, but the good ones can get up. You were asking me about why robot dogs.
Yeah.
We were talking about this while the video was playing. We do talk when the video's up. The robot dogs are cool because they can reach certain areas. I did a story a few months ago about one that was used to help map a cave network, much smaller than a person. Obviously, can get in these gaps easier, and then had like LiDAR systems. They have a lot of spots on the top. I haven't really covered this so much. I've covered kind of it, but not really. They have a lot of like places where you can add things to the robot dogs. So you can just kind of
Attachments, like a camera where you can plug in all these things.
Arms, everything from like arms to cameras to lasers, all sorts of stuff, data equipment.
Weapons, maybe.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could.
What comes to my head is like when somebody is missing, or let's say there's a situation where they're looking for something that's
Right.
unsafe. Having that robot dog go
Right.
out and do it.
100%. That's what they use. These are for bomb squads.
Mhm.
So it's the four-legged ones are better. The wheeled things or things with tracks, they can go on most surfaces, but not all surfaces. Two legs, you have a harder time balancing.
Yeah.
Humans, we have a lot of stuff in our heads that allow us to balance.
Our
Standing on
brain.
two legs is weird. You know my favorite? I'm going to say this appropriately for what we're doing. Humans, the reason humans are capable of what we're capable of is because we have butts. Yeah. So most animals don't really have because we have to stand upright.
Yeah.
And the butt is what lets us do that and propel ourselves forward. Yeah, even like gorillas and stuff, not big butts. So
some of them have big
but
butts.
they don't really work like ours do. So that's one of the things like those muscles, the gluteus maximus muscles, and the whole set.
It's also a cushion in case we fall.
Right. There's a lot of things. Now there's also a lot of negatives because the rest of our body, isn't really designed
To fall on.
to walk on. Like even like our feet.
Our hands.
You look at most like cats and dogs and stuff. They walk on their toes.
Yeah.
And their heel is used as kind of a balance, like it's like an extension, but we walk on our feet, and some people are flat-footed, obviously, and so like the arches in there. So there's some our backs, for instance, they were evolved from things that were horizontal, and so by moving it vertical, that's why we get a lot of back issues as a species. But the butt is the reason we're able to be like one of the big reasons we can do things is because we were able to stand up above grass, several million years ago.
Yeah.
And rise
Harvest
and
food,
reach up high and climb, but in like Africa, the grasslands are really high, so being able to stand above it and look for predators,
Mm-hmm.
how we are the way we are.
Smart.
So
So
there you go.
are you trying to say that robots eventually are going to have butts?
really big butts. They don't need them so much, but it's part of I mean, honestly, actually, yeah. This train of thought went somewhere. It wasn't me just being weird. And here's a fun fact. Going from four-legged robot or tracked robots to four-legged robots to now two-legged robots. It's part of that evolution.
Yeah.
How do you develop that hip flexor section? How do you remain stable?
Yeah. I'm excited to see.
If you ever have back issues, do some more squats.
Do some more squats. I
Serious.
did that yesterday because my back was hurting.
Same.
Yeah.
I did deadlifts yesterday. Anyway.
I'm excited to see in a couple years how robots, the way that they look, have changed from that first robot that we saw to in 5-10 years.
The one I find interesting to me, I haven't really talked about my thought on this so much, but it's the ones that have a human head,
Yeah.
but there's no middle. Have you seen those? It's just like a chin and then it wraps over.
That's the one that Kim Kardashian has, right?
It's so weird. Like, why no?
Why
I
no
wonder
face?
if it's a weight issue because
Don't they have like a digital face?
some do.
Yeah.
Some do. But there's ones that don't even have that. They just have like a ring.
That's
And
weird.
I think a lot of it also is like they're trying to project the human features onto it, but also like I don't know, like the head is kind of a big old wobbly
Yeah.
counterweight to your feet. So maybe it makes it harder to walk. I'm sure some roboticists at UT could tell me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
And-
they let me turn a whole story on
On the robot faces.
Why do robots have heads? Let's talk about the final story of today. We'll keep this one relatively quick. Europe, the European Space Agency, launched their largest rocket ever, the Ariane 6. By the way, I did have interviews with this, but they were all in French.
Wow.
So I did not include them. Here is the rocket launching. It included SpaceX's Starlink satellites. There's 32 on board. It's Amazon's. It's the competition for Starlink. It's Amazon's constellation. We're gonna have so many.
What's it called?
Did I write it down? Oh, Leo. Yeah, I did write it down. Leo. But they are the competition with Starlink. For those of you who don't know, Starlink are these chains of satellites we have in space that provide Wi-Fi here on Earth for internet for people in remote areas and during disaster zones. There's hundreds of them. I had the number in my head. And I lost it.
Hundreds.
Hundreds. Let's just say hundreds. Anyway, Ariane 6 has four. It has
Ariana Grande?
Ariane. I think it's like spider.
Ariane Spider?
Ariane.
Hmm.
Ooh, I'm pulling some old Greek myths out of my head. Ariane is like the goddess of spiders or something. And
So
tails?
Ariana
Stories?
Grande is the goddess
It's like
of spiders?
yeah, that name is kind of like anyway. We need to focus. Ariane 6 has it's four boosters. It has a Vulcan 2.1 engine, which is built in France. 4 boosters burn at 142,000 kilograms of propellant in just over 2 minutes. I'm just throwing stats at y'all.
It's as tall as a 20-story building?
It is as tall as a 20-story building, so it's a
Jeez.
big rocket. It's designed to reduce operating costs over the previous Ariane 5. Engines undergo intense testing in the forest surrounded area that they're doing the practice. 7 to 8 launches are planned this year. I have a lot of facts.
Yeah, we're looking
I
at
have
notes.
a fact sheet. Sorry, I wrote down a fact sheet for this one. About 1/3 of missions are for the government, 2/3 are commercial. Amazon Leo has contracted 18 launches with this rocket. So it's a big rocket.
Wow.
It launched on the 12th. I just wanted to highlight that. It's part of Europe's big push to get, they did announce, was that last year we talked about this? They announced a big new push to get into space.
To boost the
and
space
this
industry.
rocket is part of that push.
And this rocket specifically is working on what? What's its goal?
It's just carrying stuff up to space.
Oh, for Europe?
Yeah,
Not
European
for
Space
us.
Agency. No, not for us. Europe. This is Europe's push to beat America in space.
They
But
want
also-
to access defense, Earth observation, climate monitoring, and navigation satellites.
Oh yeah, that's some of the satellites they have.
Mm.
You read all the notes.
I'm reading all the notes.
You actually read my notes today. No, this one because it was so many. Like I had
So many topics, but all fun.
yeah, and I had like all this stuff on robots too that we didn't even talk about. But I just had it in there for fun, like robot notes. Yeah, so cool. I just wanted to highlight this launch because it's kind of a big deal that this is their new big push, and it's so big. It's a big rocket.
20-story building.
Yeah,
That's
and,
crazy.
I wish I wrote down the comparison. I did see a comparison with Starship, which is SpaceX's new rocket.
Yeah.
And it's huge. It keeps blowing up, but it's huge when it does.
It
launch.
keeps blowing up.
It does. It keeps blowing up.
More rockets in the ocean.
More rockets in the ocean. Well, like SpaceX is for the most part, they land.
Do they?
Yeah, they land and we reuse them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, is that cool?
I remember multiple SpaceX
Somebody
rockets
else-
that didn't land.
Yeah, there's been a few, but for the most part, they land. What was the one that just? There was another company that had one. Oh, I'm blanking. Another company just had one launch and land.
Was it
was it-
Chinese one?
Was it Bezos? Was it Blue Origin?
Oh.
Maybe Blue Origin.
No idea.
Theirs is mainly like touristy stuff, but they do it for other things too. Maybe in Blue Origin. Because yeah, if you can reuse rockets, that's a big deal.
Better for the environment.
They don't care about the environment. But let's be honest.
They don't care.
But they care about money, and it's cheaper to reuse a rocket than to build a new one.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Well, hopefully they can use these rockets to go into space and tell the aliens that we're ready for them to come down here and talk to us.
and then we can put robots on these rockets to handle all the hard work for
Yeah,
us.
we can
See,
share
we
our
tied
robots
everything
with
in
the
today.
aliens.
The complete insanity of this show.
It all ties back around. It's like a big circle.
Well, I have to get going. I have to get to Area 52 for
52?
some surprise work. Wink.
Wait, what's Area 52?
I don't know.
Are you making that up?
Yes. I have to go edit this documentary we have airing next week.
I was really believing you there for a second.
I have to go finish. I have 20 minutes left for this thing I got to edit.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us
Thank
and
you for
bringing
having
my favorite topic to the table, as
You're
well as
welcome.
yours.
Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Hopefully, it's aliens.
Hopefully it's aliens. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Maybe they'll come.
You know what we do have coming up? Moon launch.
Mm.
It got confirmed for March 6th yesterday.
Oh, that's the one that got delayed.
Yeah, because of the fuel leak. So that's
Fingers crossed, no more
Talk
leaks.
about that. Hopefully, we'll talk about that after launch.
Okay,
So that's the 6th.
so we can watch it.
Not this coming Friday, but the following Friday.
Mhm.
But we won't be on there. Well,
Or
we talk about the following.
We could watch it live if you wanted to,
We could watch it live.
hmm
Okay, we're
and
thinking. We're
talk
planning.
about it.
We're planning. That's early. That's the election week too. The primary. will
Oh,
happen.
you're right.
But that's on the 3rd. That's like a couple days earlier. We're fine.
Okay.
Anyway, bye.
Bye. We'll see you next week.